I'm a CNN commentator. I think that is unacceptable. I think that is the President of the United States taking things way too far. It is an incitement to violence. He is going to get somebody killed in the media. Maybe that will stop him. I am disappointed beyond belief by the answer that the Homeland Security advisor just gave. What a wuss. What a wuss. You could see that he is ceding his principles. You are the Homeland Security advisor and you can't stand here and say the difference between right and wrong. That's what's part of the problem. He is surrounded by enablers that do nothing but shake their heads and nod their heads in agreement with everything that he says. They have got to stop. They have got to stand for democracy, for freedom of the press. This is just going way too far. The President of the United States is inciting violence against the free press. And America, we cannot stand for it.
As President Trump's war with the media gets even more personal, the president is grappling with Senate Republicans who've missed a self-imposed deadline on health care. He's preparing for a stare-down this week with Russian President Vladimir Putin. But on Twitter, he's wrestling with us. Look at this video from his Twitter account this morning. This is a WWE WrestleMania video from years ago when Trump used to show up at WWE events. You can see that the CNN logo has been superimposed onto the other fighter's face. Now, this showed up on a Reddit message board days ago. Now it's showing up on the President of the United States' own Twitter feed. The early reactions in the last 90 minutes have ranged from, this is juvenile, ridiculous, idiotic. Oh, wait, no, it's just funny. He's just having fun. Oh, wait, no, it's actually scary, dangerous. We've heard a wide range of reactions to this, and we have a panel standing by. But first, CNN's response. The strongest statement I've seen from CNN or any news outlet this year in response to the president's attacks. Quote, "It is a sad day when the President of the United States encourages violence against reporters. Clearly, Sarah Huckabee Sanders lied when she said the president had never done so. Instead of preparing for his overseas trip, his first meeting with Vladimir Putin, dealing with North Korea, and working on his health care bill, he is instead involved in juvenile behavior far below the dignity of his office." The statement from CNN ends by saying, "We will keep doing our jobs. He should start doing his." And look, this is day 6 of Trump's anti-media tweet storms. We've been covering this all week long. His offensive tweets about Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski took up days of news coverage, and those came after days of attacks against CNN and the New York Times and the Washington Post. Now his target on Sunday is CNN again. Who knows which outlet will be next? Who's going to speak up? Are other media outlets going to speak up? I think they will today. We're already seeing solidarity from journalists on Twitter. What about GOP leaders? What about Republican leaders? I think we should be clear about the Trump's strategy here. The president's strategy, let's think about this. He's trying to build up news outlets that promote him while trying to tear down outlets that dare to challenge him. He is promoting his friends in the media, talking with friendly interviewers who won't ask him tough questions, while he's demeaning voices who criticize him. Now, don't take my word for it, take his. At a private fundraiser this week, Trump asked the donors if he should sue CNN. And then he called CNN staffers, quote, horrible human beings. And on Saturday, he continued his campaign against the broader media. Watch.
The fake media is trying to silence us, but we will not let them. Because the people know the truth. The fake media tried to stop us from going to the White House, but I'm president and they're not.
Is this president trying to impersonate Hugo Chavez, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Vladimir Putin? Because this is exactly the kind of language that leaders use when they are trying to undermine the press. Of course, the American press is much more free than reporters in places like Russia and Turkey and Venezuela. And on this Independence Day weekend, that's something we should all be celebrating. So where's Paul Ryan? Where's Mitch McConnell? Are GOP leaders going to speak up about these attacks against the media? Like I said, right now it's CNN. Earlier it was the Washington Post and the New York Times. It's been other networks. It's been other outlets. This president continues to demean the media. Are GOP leaders going to support him? I want you to know we reached out to the White House earlier this week to invite a spokesperson onto the program, given all the president's media attacks. Unfortunately, they did not respond to our requests.